Charles, Daniel's made the decision that he wanted to change. Don Charles has been an amazing part of Daniel's career, guided him to become a world heavyweight champion, which is not easy to do. Against Anthony Joshua in the Lions Den in Wembley Stadium, that's there forever. He's done an amazing job, Don Charles, but Daniel's decided he wanted to move on and have a fresh start, and Kieran and Don did a great job, but it's now a fresh start for Daniel elsewhere. In regards to his next trainer, Daniel will make his own statement about that in the next few days. Look.
Those are the words of Sam Jones, and he is speaking about Daniel Dubois' next trainer, and stated that that's what he wanted to do. And, of course, it was a cleanup to me. They gave props to Don Charles, like Daniel Dubois has publicly said. And him wanting a fresh start, that's what I want to counter, okay? The next trainer. And if you guys don't know, which you probably do, let me break it down to you. Before Don Charles, do you guys know how many trainers Daniel Dubois went with? You had Don Charles. Before that, you had Shane McGuigan. Before that, you had Martin Bowers. Okay. And you had he's looking for a fresh change to help him to the next stage of his career and aims to be a two-time champion. And now he's talking about going to Tony Sims, which is AJ's previous trainer. And the thing is, it's like, how many times you need a fresh trainer or a new trainer? And it definitely waves a red flag based on the fact that you had these many people under your wing. You know what I mean? You had these many trainers. This will make your fourth or fifth trainer. And you start looking at it like, okay, I want a fresh start. Well, what happens when you get beat again? Or is it 2 losses per what? 2 losses per trainer? And I say this. If you want something you never had, you have to do something you never done. Me personally, I think 2 ways about the situation. I feel bad for Don Charles because all that shit Don Charles did to defend Daniel Dubois and the party that he wasn't even not in attendance and all that shit, and tried to say this, that, and the other about Daniel Dubois, did all that damage control, and they still fired him. They still fired him. So it's like, okay, well, what the hell? You know what I mean? That's like the people that, voted for a particular president that's deporting everybody, including them. It's the same shit. It's like, okay, you are just trying to kiss the gas, and then the gas that you've kissed turned around and kicked you in your own ass. That's what it feels like to me. But I say this, though. Don tried to keep his job. I think Don tried to do the best that he could with what he could do. And I think you're going to get the same result. Because if you want something you never had, you got to do something you never done. But if you keep doing the same things that you've been doing, you're going to get the same result. You know what I mean? You have to add to that expression, because that expression, that add-on is so very true. Okay. So in other words, people, what I'm saying, he keeps on with this fresh change shit. He's going to find out that it's not the trainer at all. It's his papa. If he wanted a fresh change, what difference would it make? Or are you looking for someone that gets along better with your dad because your dad is actually acting like Fidel Castro? Are you doing that based on how your dad gels with him? Because it should be about how you gel with him, not your dad. And if you don't have that type of relationship with the trainer, what good is he for once? And for second, you need to save your money and just bring your dad in. It's never going to work. Because if your dad is not a trainer and he's an influencer in your corner, you need and he needs to talk to that trainer. And that trainer needs to know how important Stan is. But that trainer also has to know that and tell Stan that, hey, I'm the important factor and I'm running the shots. You guys remember when Tyson Fury fought Alexander Usyk the first time, and we had all that interference, and you had different things said from different guys. Javen Sugar Hill said this, John Fury said that, and then shortly after he got chinned. That's what happened, and then you didn't see him come back in the corner. That's how it should be. I think if Stan cared for his son, and if he really wanted his son to have a fresh start, he would get the fuck out of the way and allow the trainers to do their job. You know what I mean? And he also needs to talk to his son. If his son does have some kind of autism that he cannot stay away from his dad, he needs to always keep looking over his shoulder at his papa. Well, he needs to tell his son or try to explain to his son that, hey, listen, Daniel, listen to Tony Sims. Don't look at me. Focus on him. OK, I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to be right back there. But don't look my way. Focus on what he's telling you because I said so. That may help Daniel. But this fresh start shit, you know, it's good. Hey, shout out to Sam Jones. I mean, great talker. You know, it's a reason why he's a manager. And I think he's very successful at what he does because he's very good at what he does. You know, icing that shit up, caking it up. But at the same time, you know, it would be different if he was with, you know, one trainer. No, he's been with 4 or 5 different trainers. You know what I'm saying? So if he gets with another one, what's going to be his excuse? You know? But to be fair, though, according to that interview, they haven't chose one yet. So they're still looking. So for whatever they're looking for, I hope they find it. But you guys tell me what you think of Sam Jones and his statement towards Daniel Dubois leaving Don Charles. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.